Hi there, I'm powerfully labeled here. Um, this is where I really begin to break through the barriers of sharing myself. And this has got me really emotional because this is, so one of the things about me is that, like, I have a love for music. I've always had a deep love for music. Well, I know a huge thing to do with it is because I could feel energies so intensely, and physically, and all these energies around me were so overwhelming, and I had a hard time understanding, I guess maybe I thought it was normal, I don't know, but I knew that whenever music was playing, it was like, it like broke through energies. And whenever there was, those sounds, those stops and sounds of rhythms and melodies and all that, I would feel this relief from outside sources of energy. And so obviously I grew to love music because it is therapy for me. It is peace for me. It's peace. Like, I always have headphones with me so I can listen, I can put them on, noise canceling, listen to music whenever I want or need to, in my car. I have a really nice sound system and I like to play it loud because it breaks apart the energies and it is relief for me, literally. But anyway, with that, I've learned, I pay a lot of attention to my thought patterns, and this is something that in the last, 3 years or so, I've practiced paying attention to my thoughts, and I've found that many thoughts that go on in your mind, those repeated thoughts, are kind of things that come into your consciousness on a normal basis. And some thoughts are comforting, some thoughts are not comforting, some are just, random things that, kind of help you to get through the day, like, you should do this, you should do that, whatever. But sometimes a random thought, I would call it, I like to call it, it's a message, it's a random message that will come in. And this is not something that is a normal thought pattern for me. This is not, and in that, I know that this is a message that's coming from an outside source or from an inner source that is not me, not the vessel me, it's from something else. And so quite often I will, in this last few years, it's like the subconsciousness within me, which you could label it however you want, you can call it your soul, your higher self, your subconscious, you could call it whatever you want to call it. You could call it your inner, your spirit guide, your angel, whatever you want to label it as. It's an inside energy source that's of benefit to you. And it's giving you this message because there's something that it wants to bring to your attention. For me, you know, it's something that is, if I pay attention to it and I really look into it, and there's something there that needs to be acknowledged or felt within, for a release, you know, something, you know, something that reminds you. You know, oftentimes I will receive song lyrics in my, you know, clairaudience is one of the gifts that I have. It's like where you will receive sound messages in your inner mind. And so when I started this channel, I got a song that next morning. And this song is, I knew it was a random message. I knew because this is a song that I don't have on any of my playlists. I don't listen to this song very often. This is just, you know, one of those generic radio songs that's played in the outside world. You know, it's kind of popular out there somewhat, you know, but it's not something that I have on my personal playlists, you know. But now I will now, you know. So I get these songs, and when I get these songs, sometimes the message will play, you know, longer parts of the song. Sometimes it just plays certain lyrics of the song, and then I'll be drawn to, like, I'll go on my phone and I will research, I will look for the song, the lyrics, so that I can read through the whole song lyrics, and there are messages in there. There are messages of, you know, something that I need to acknowledge within that needs to be felt. And so I did that. I looked up the song, I found it, and I had a huge emotional release and cry. And it wasn't a sad cry. It was a beautiful, like, I felt love. I felt loved so intensely that my body just, you know, felt that. It felt like it was getting an energetic hug from my soul, you know, my higher self. That's what I like to call it, you know. That inner love light source, you know. So quite often when I get these song messages, they are messages from what I like to call my higher self, and they are love songs between me and my higher self. So, you know, typically if you listen to a love song, you think of it as, it's like, has to do with an outside relationship between you and somebody else. And oftentimes, you know, that's what these songs are written for. But for me, it's like my subconscious mind, my higher self, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you label it as. It's your inner benevolent, energetic love light source, whatever. It's trying to communicate with me a certain thing, you know. Often it's, I suffer from the feelings of loneliness due to, you know, I just don't have a very large circle of friends and people surrounding me that are close to me. And so, you know, I've suffered from loneliness a lot. And in my journey throughout this last few years, when I'm given these love songs between my higher self and it's like it's hugging me and telling me, you know what, you're not alone. You never were alone. You never were, you never are, and you never will be alone. And it's just this beautiful thing. So I feel like this is part of my calling, is to share this perspective that when you hear these love songs, don't think of it as, you know, and you're feeling loneliness or whatever from an outside relationship or whatever. If you flip the switch and just think of it as, it's your it's your inner voice, your inner subconscious higher self, whatever, that it's between it and you, and it will never abandon you. It never does. It's always there. As long as you're alive, it's there and your heart's beating. That energetic source is with you. It's inside of you. It's surrounding you. You're in it. It's in you. So anyway, okay. So now I'm going to share the song. The song is called If You Want To by Michelle Branch. Like I said, it's not a song that I normally listen to. So it took me by quite surprise. So I'm just going to kind of go through the lyrics with you and kind of share my emotions and feelings that have come up. And I'm starting to, okay, I might get a little emotional. I'm going to try to control it a little bit though. So the song starts out with, I wanted to be like you, you know, and I'm just going to turn the volume down because I don't want them to cut off the video. I wanted to be like you. I wanted everything. So I tried to be like you. And I got swept away. So that's I see that as like it's like I tried so hard to like belong to you know, a group, you know, cliques, whatever. Like we're programmed and we're raised to think that it's so important to be popular and to belong to something, you know, and so that's kind of how I saw that, was that it's like my own personal guilt and shame for not really ever feeling like I belonged anywhere specific, and just that longing of trying so hard to be in something, you know, that I felt a belonging with. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I didn't know that it was so cold, and you needed someone to show you the way. Now that's my higher self speaking to me, saying that, because I never, when you're a child and stuff, you know, it's hard to express clearly, you know, the emotions and feelings that are going on inside. But as you practice more and more how to express like what's really happening, when you actually verbalize it out loud, how you're feeling, it's a means of communication to all the parts of you that would otherwise not completely understand, you know, because you have your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, you have your emotional body, you have your physical sensory body, you know, all these different parts of you, and all these different parts of you do different things. Like if you close your eyes are for seeing what's out here. And it's like when you speak out loud to yourself, you are helping to connect the dots between all the parts of yourself. So in this last few years, I've learned that to speak out loud to myself about how I'm feeling, and to not give a crap who sees you talking to yourself or what. Like, it's so important to talk out loud to yourself. You know, I would really love for this world to break free of the stigma that talking to yourself is some crazy thing. You know, it's not. It's actually really smart, and it's essential to as a means of translation for all the parts of you, you know, so that your higher self completely understands what you're going through, you know? And I see this as, okay, I'm communicating more with my higher self, you know, how I feel. And now that I'm opening myself to that inner part of me, my being, it's like we're taking each other's hand. And now he can help me better because I am acknowledging it and speaking to it, you know. You needed someone to show you the way. So I took your hand and we figured out. We figured out then when the tide comes, I'd take you away. I see that as taking me away from my feelings of loneliness to come to the knowing that I'm never alone. And that's where that's where I was like, yeah, I'm never alone. Actually, it's an illusion. Loneliness is an illusion. And so yeah, I had a really good big cry, and I felt the warm fuzzies and the energetic hug, and it just felt so good. So good. So lonely inside, so busy out there. And all you wanted was somebody who cares. So anyway, I encourage you to look up this song, and it's called All You Wanted by Michelle Branch. It's a beautiful song, you know. I just love it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. I love you all so much. If you have the extrasensory gift of, you know, feeling energies intensely, you know, physically, music is a huge mode for healing, for bringing peace to yourself, to break out the discordance of these energies. On YouTube, you know, you can look up frequency musics, you know, that are non-lyrical, and you can get this same piece, you know, if you have children with sensory, labeled sensory disorders, or you know, extrasensory sensitivities. Music could really help. When I taught special education for 8 years, and I used music a lot in my classroom, and it is amazing. An amazing tool to help soothe and calm people with these extrasensory, I don't call them disabilities. I like to call them extraordinary abilities, you know, because they're like hyperactive abilities. They can just feel things more, you know. And anyway, I love you all so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will be talking to you again soon. Mwah.